Hello, I'm Mrs. Hollinshead and welcome to one of my 3-minute thoughts where I introduce an idea about something in GCSE English that you may not have considered before. Today let's explore the purpose of the ghosts in A Christmas Carol and whether they are supposed to be real. Now, Victorians were very interested in the origins of spiritual experiences like ghosts and fairies, etc., and this was a popular topic for debate, usually with two sides. Some said that they were spiritual events with a religious origin, so ghosts were real. Others argued that there was a scientific explanation, such as food poisoning or worries causing hallucinations, so ghosts were in our heads. We see this when Marley asks Scrooge why he doesn't believe in a ghost that is right in front of him, and Scrooge says that anything could be affecting his senses. He says that Marley might be a bit of undigested beef that is bothering his stomach. So Scrooge has chosen to believe the scientific explanations about where ghosts come from, at least at first. When Marley cries out and takes the bandage off his head to let his jaw drop down, Scrooge falls to his knees and immediately accepts that the ghost is real. But does Dickens want his readers to be as quick to accept this? Part of this is to do with the genre of the novella. It isn't just a ghost story, but follows a lot of the conventions of a Victorian morality tale. Now, these were very popular in the 19th century and were usually fairy tales for children. Something incredible would happen in the story, like talking animals or fairies, for example, and these would teach children how to behave according to Victorian ideas. Work hard, do the right thing, try to improve yourself, that kind of thing. Now, you can probably see the comparison to A Christmas Carol straight away, but this story is targeted towards adults, and the lesson isn't the typical one. It's about social reform and helping the poor. Now, this means that the ghosts perform a narrative function. He needs something fantastical for the story to work. But Dickens doesn't just want us to accept they're real because they have a job to do in his story. He keeps hinting at the new scientific ideas about what causes ghosts, particularly new Victorian ideas about psychology. The theory was that the human mind was powerful and that it could give people access to the divine and spiritual experiences. Marley is mentioned before he appears, and not just to Scrooge. That whole introduction to Stave 1 is about Marley being dead, so he's in our minds, which could explain why we hallucinate along with Scrooge. There is also the fact that Scrooge finds himself back in bed and very sleepy after the ghost of Christmas Past appears, which could imply that it was a dream, as could the fact that when he goes to grab the ghost of Christmas Yet to Come's robe, it becomes a bedpost. So did he actually ever leave his bed? That could be an explanation as to how 3 nights are squeezed into one, and it makes sense that a capitalist like Scrooge would imagine powerful beings that could manipulate time, because the Industrial Revolution meant time equals money. We see this when Scrooge tells Bob Cratchit that taking a day off is like picking his pocket. Really, it's up to us to decide whether we think the ghosts are real or whether they are in Scrooge's mind. But the important thing for Dickens is not necessarily the origins of the ghosts, but the fact that Scrooge thinks they're real, and that seeing them gives him the opportunity to reflect on who he is and change his behaviour. So that's it. I hope you found something valuable there. If you did, please hit the button and subscribe to be notified of the next episode.